So today we are going to learn about social studies and we are going to learn about a new information from history. And today we are going to learn about World War One. In the World War One, it was why we call it World War because many countries around the world uh, communicate in this war. In which way? They tried to fight each other and to invade each other. So the war wasn't only in one place like the war that we know. For example, it wasn't. Now, if you look to the news, you can see that there's a war in Yemen, war in Syria. It's only locations like one country, two country. That's it. But when we call it world war, it means that all the countries around the world, from all the continents, in communicating and making and participating in this what in this war. So that's why we call it world war. There is no place that you can go that is safe and without a war. All the earth has war. So, did it happen through history? Yes, it happened. How many times it happened, DMS? It happened two times during history. And these two times were only in 50 years. Yani during 50 years, we have two world war number and then World War number two. Wow, we have yani two wars during history that all the world communicated and participated in this war. Yes, we have. All of this started from 1914 until 1918. This is First World War. And the other one started at 1939 and ended to 1945. Imagine, all of them happened in only less than 50 years. Each one of them happened after each other. The first one finished, and then after about less than 30 years, the second one started. And the whole world come again to another war. So what is the reason why these countries participated in this war and what happened to make all the earth goes on madness and everybody tries to invade and kill everybody? What's going on? What happened? This is what we are going to learn today, inshallah, in our lesson. But first, open your books in the page 125, and then let's see this presentation together. Okay, can you see the picture with me, girls?
Yeah, miss.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, miss.
So, the beginning of the World War started at the year of 1914. I want you to imagine the year 1914 as people who are not very developed with technologies. They don't have technologies at that time. They don't have like fast airplanes or big missiles or big weapons as we have right now. They don't have remote control. They don't have Wi Fi. They don't have telephones that they can hold or mobiles. They don't have very fast cars that we have right now. So these people, they were not that much developed. They didn't have that much of technology. But the war started at 1940. What was this? Now the war started between who and who exactly? The war started between two parties. The first party have these countries. The first party has the allies. They call it the allies. In Arabic, it means al-khulafa, which means that they are friends together. Okay, so the war started between the allies: France, Russia, Great Britain, Italy, Japan, and the United States. So how many countries we have? We have six countries right now. طيب. Even Japan, yes, even Japan. Japan, you have to learn that Japan on the earth, the map of the earth, is on the east of the earth. So how it come to participate in this war? That's why we call it World War, because all the countries around the war around the world participated. طيب, who were the central power or the power who started أصلا, who started the war? Who was they? First, we have Germany. This is the first country who started to support the war and said, yes, let's go for war, Germany. And then we have Austria, the first country who started the war. This is the first one. And we have Hungary, another country beside Austria. In the past, when the war started, Austria and Hungary was only one country أصلا. Both of them, they were only one country, okay? But now after the war, they divide each other. Everyone become a dependent country. So when the time the war started, they were only one country, both of them. So now remember, we have Germany, we have Austria, Hungary, and we have the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire اللي هي الدولة العثمانية. Okay, أو الإمبراطورية العثمانية. الإمبراطورية العثمانية, they were the Arabs and the Muslims. Because remember, Ottoman Empire took Turkey and all the Arabian Peninsula, which is Saudi Arabia and Emirat and Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, and also took some parts of Africa, which is the Arabian countries in Africa, which is, we have Egypt, Sudan, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia. All of these countries were under the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Ottoman Empire here participated in the war. But with which part it participated? It participated with the attacking part, which is with Germany, Austria, and Hungary. طيب, if you ask, طيب يا miss, why the Arabs and the Muslims under the Ottoman Empire, they participated in this war? Well, there was a reason for that, because the Ottoman Empire believed in the case and on the fairness of the case of this war. They believed of the justice of this war, and they said, yes, the other countries deserve to have the war. Why? Because they made something wrong. What is the thing that they made it wrong, and what is the spark of this war? How it started? Well, my girls, the spark of this war started by only one event happened. What is that event? The event was the Duke of Austria. His name is Frederick Francis Ferdinand. Okay, his name is Archduke Francis Ferdinand. This is the person. Okay, he was the Duke of Austria. He was the Duke of Austria. What does it mean, Duke? It means king. He was the king of Austria at that time. King of Austria. One day, he went with his wife and his children, and they went into a cart to say hi to the crowds of people and to salute the people on the street. Because this was a tradition in that family, that the king and his family, they will go in an open car and say for the people, hello, okay? And the people will throw flowers to him. They will say hi back to him. Okay, Ghalia. So at that time, he went with his wife to say hi to the people. But what happened is, at the time of 28 of June in 1914, a man, his name is Gabriel, came near of the car, and with a gun, he pointed the gun to that person, to that Duke's head, and he killed him, and then he killed his wife. He assassinated the family. He killed the family. Why is that? Well, he said he has some issue with the family. Then he decided to kill that person, to kill the Duke. In addition to the assassination, the policies followed in the main empires, Ottoman, Russian, Germany, and Austria-Hungary, played an important role. طيب. Now, this was only the spark, my girls, but another reason for the war, this is the reason for the war, but the other reason is all of the countries of Germany, Russia, and Austria, Hungary.
Miss, I can't hear you.
Rejoin, ya Galia. Rejoin, it's from your part. And then Ottoman, All of these countries, they had some policies that helped into the war. What are the policies that helped into the war? All of these countries, aslan, they wanted to expand and they wanted to extend their technology and their control over the other countries. And also Austria and Hungary, it was one big country, but they always have fight between each other. Russia, in the meanwhile, they wanted to extend their country, but they couldn't. Germany also, it has some greedy ideas. They wanted to extend. Ottoman also, they wanted to extend. So when they have the spark of that person who was killed of the country of Austria, Hungary, they were what? They were so mad and they said, well, this is the spark that we need, and this is the reason that we need for the war. So let's go and attack the other people. طيب, why they attack the other people? طيب, the person he killed, the king of Austria, why to attack another country? Well, what you don't know, that this person is the person who killed the king. He was what? He was from Serbia. He is Serbian, يعني from Serbia. He was Serbian. يعني who is Serbia? Serbia is another country near of Austria. يعني he is not Austrian. If he was from the same nationality, it was okay, because then they will hold him and kill him, okay? But he was from another country. What made Austria so angry that they said this thing and that he made was on purpose. And he is not the person who killed him. There's someone who sent him. Why? Because they wanted to divide the country of Austria-Hungary. Austria, they wanted to divide it from Hungary.
So they will attack.
Yes. Remember, Austria and Hungary, they were one country, okay? Now, there was some greedy ideas from other countries. They wanted to divide Austria from Hungary and to make it separated, okay? So who was the king of that country, Aslan? The Duke Ferdinand, the one who was killed, Duke Ferdinand. So who killed him, طيب? Another person from Serbia, from another country, Aslan. He came specifically to kill the Duke and his wife, to finish the family. So they will not have any heir or a son or a daughter that will hold the kingdom after them. So Austria-Hungary was very mad. Why? Because they said this thing was on purpose. They are making this because they want to divide us. So they're asking for war. If they came to our country to kill our king, so yes, we are going to defend ourselves. We are going to attack the countries near of us to defend ourselves. So how it started? Now Austria-Hungary talked to Germany. And they asked them, what should we do? Because remember, Austria at that time was very near of Germany, and they have what? They have very good friendship and benefit together. So Austria-Hungary asked Germany, what should we do? Germany said, you have to reply for this and you have to respond. And you have to attack the country who attacked you, because if you don't, then they will have more greeds and they will come to invade you later. So you have to start with the first step. And no matter what you do, I am behind your back and I get you and I will support you with everything that you do. That gives the reason and the motivation for Austria-Hungary to go to attack what? To attack Serbia. Now the first spark started and Austria started to attack Serbia in the name that you killed our king, so we will revenge. We will revenge from you. Serbia here, Serbia was very near to what? To Russia. Serbia asked, help, help, Russia, help us. There's someone attack us. And Russia came and she said, Russia is another country near of Serbia. And she said, well, Serbia is near of us and it's our friend. You attack Serbia, it's like you attacking us. We are going to come into this war. طيب, you will ask yourself, طب why Russia come in the first place? In a war, it's not her war. يعني Serbia, it was its fault to send somebody to kill that king. Let Serbia defend themselves. Why Russia came? Well, what you don't know, that yes, this was the spark of the war, but Russia wanted to extend their country and to have Serbia and to connect Serbia to Russia and to make it one big empire. This is was what the dream of Russia. Now Russia has that dream comes true, and it comes to him, and they asked him, Russia, can you help us please in this war? Russia said yes. Russia came to help Serbia, but they didn't want to help her actually. They wanted to help Serbia and then take Serbia and rejoin it and join it with what? With Russia to make one big empire. You see the idea?
Yeah.
So Serbia thought that Russia is helping her. And Austria thought that Serbia is attacking us, so we have to defend. And Germany was a friend. Germany was a good friend to Austria. So Germany was really trying to defend Austria because the idea of that war was they are trying to divide countries. You understand? So that's why it's a world war. Now Austria attacked Serbia. And then after that, Russia went for what? Russia said, well, if you attack Serbia, wallahi, we are going to attack Prussia. Prussia is what? Prussia is a country also near of Germany. Germany now gets angry. We are trying to defend ourselves and the king of Austria, and you are going to attack us, ya Russia? طيب, I will come in the war. Germany came to the war and they said, wallahi, we will invade not only one country, we will invade Belgium. Why? Because Belgium stands in the war beside Russia. So they invade Belgium, Luxembourg, and France, all at once. They said, wallahi, since Russia want to extend and take Prussia and take other countries to make empire, so why not us? Germany, remember, at that time, Germany had an idea like Russia. They wanted also to extend. So when they find that Russia came, they said, wallahi, this is a good reason for us to come to the war. And if anybody asks us, we will say that we are defending Austria. But everybody will have the benefit. So now Germany came into the war and they said, if Russia come inside the war, then it's my right to come to the war because Austria is my friend. And I'm going to attack not only one country, but I want to take Belgium, Luxembourg, and France. Not only attacking them, but every time they invade a country, they join that country and they make it with Germany. So they wanted to extend their empire. Germany at that time, they had some ideas that they wanted to be an empire. Okay, so that's why they attacked. طيب. Now let's see how the things goes. Now everybody is attacking everybody, right?
Yeah.
Hungary attacking Serbia, Germany attacking Belgium and Luxembourg and France, Russia attacking Prussia. So what will happen? Other countries will hear about the chaos and they say, why not us? If you are all attacking each other in hope to make empire, so why not us? One of these countries who thought like this was Britain. And remember, Britain at that time, it was called Great Britain. Why? They called her at that time the empire that the sun doesn't go down from. Why? Because Britain was in Europe, in the Europe continent. But they have colonies in India and Asia, and they have colonies in Africa, and they have colonies all over the world. If you go anywhere, you will find a British person talking to you. Why? Because Britain invaded the whole area. So Britain said, well, we are the Great Britain. If anybody needs to have an empire, it's us, because we are the superior people, and and remember, now Britain have the industrial revolution. You remember industrial revolution? Now they have trains, they have airplanes that working on steam, and they have some stuff that they added as a technology more than Britain and more than France. Now, no more than Germany. So Britain now, they have the technology. They are strongest. The strongest one of them is Britain. Britain said, since we are the strongest and we have the facilities and resources, and we have also the army, because we have army from all over the world, and we have some colonies in India and in Africa, so we can attack the whole world and take advantage of ruling the whole earth. Wow. So the whole universe will be for us. This is what Britain thought. So that's why Britain came and they said, well, you attack Serbia, we will defend Serbia. Serbia is our friend. But actually they were not defending Serbia. They came into the war in agreed to gain more lands. This is why Britain came. So Britain was with Serbia, France, and Belgium and Italy. And later on, we have Japan and United States of America. Remember, United States of America at that time, it was a small country and they have a lot of wars inside America. So America wasn't very impressive to come inside the war. They said, it's not our war, why should we come? But then they have another idea. They said, if everybody try to come inside the war and cut the cake, so we should come and cut the cake and take more. So America joined the war at which time? At 1917. After 3 years of the war, America decided to come. Why America decided to come? Because they said, we want to extend our land also. So all of these countries, actually, they were greedy. It wasn't because of a man killed another man in another country. It was because all of them have greedy ideas of extending their lands, and that's why they entered and they found it as the big chance for them. Now or never. If we don't have the war right now, then there will not be another excuse in the future. Now we have the excuse that we are defending our friend, and the meanwhile we will take over the lands from here and there, and then our empire will be bigger until we rule the world. This is the dream of any country. So let's go ahead. So now all the countries are fighting over what? They are fighting over the lands and over the power. They want the power. They want the land. They are not here for justice. So how the war goes right now from there on, how the war gone. Now this is how the whole world become. We have in this part, we have Austria and Hungary attacking Italy, Germany attacking Italy, and the Ottoman Empire is the allies of Germany and Austria. And then Bulgaria and Serbia was in the middle, so they are attacking those central power. They are attacking Bulgaria and Serbia. On the other hand, we have France, Russia, and Britain. They are also another power who is trying to take some part of the cake. And all of this happened in the meanwhile. Let's see how is the map of the world at that time and how the things goes. In the orange color right here, those are the central power who started the war. This is Germany, you see? This is the land of Germany. Who is beside her? Beside her is Austro-Hungarian Empire. This is the country who has the spark of the war. When the king died here, they asked the help of Germany. Germany, help us! Our king is dead. They said, we will defend you. And then they go to attack Serbia. This is Serbia. This is where the man came from. So Austro-Hungarian tried to what? To attack Serbia. Now who came to defend? France. France and Russia. Russia here from the right and France from the left. Russia, it's a big empire. As you can see, Russia is the biggest land, by the way, Aslan. Russia didn't want only Russia. They want to have other countries to join into that empire. They dream to have the biggest empire. طيب? So Russia said, why you attack Serbia? Serbia is our friend. We will come to defend Serbia. And now all Russian army goes to what? To attack German and Austro right here. Now German and now Austro try to attack Serbia. France came from the west and they said, well, because everybody is attacking, let me attack also and take some part of other countries and join it to me. France came to attack Germany. Germany said, if you attacking us, well, wallahi, I will attack you all. Yell, I will go for Belgium. German go for Belgium and took it. And then go for France and took it. And then go also for Luxembourg. Luxembourg right here, it took it. And then who came to the war? Italy. Italy said, you are attacking France, France beside us. Do you mean that you want to attack us? Wallahi, we will defend France. Yalla, let's go to the war. And then after that, Great Britain, this is Great Britain in here. You see, it's in the middle of the sea. But they said,
Yeah.
we want to extend. خلاص, this is Africa already here and down. We have already colonies in Africa, Algeria, Tunisia. Why don't we come on, take some parts of here of Europe, and then all the world will be for us. Let's go. And they attacked. Yalla, yalla, yalla. And then after that, the Ottoman Empire, this is the Ottoman Empire right here. Ottoman Empire was near of Serbia, as you can see, and near of this place. Ottoman Empire at that time, they had really big countries where in Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria, they have all of this empire with them. They said, if we go into the war from this part and go until we join the power, because the powerful people here was Germany and Austria. Let's join them and let's make the war with them as allies with them. And then when they cut the cake and they cut the lands, they will give us some because we are friends. Ottoman Empire come into the war also. Now we have these orange countries are one side and these green countries in one side. What the Ottoman Empire didn't know, that the Russian Empire was very big and strong, and the Russian Empire will come also to attack Ottoman Empire from the other side. So Russia here was attacking everybody. Russia was the biggest, so it has the biggest resources. Neutral countries, what does it mean neutral in pink? Yani those countries didn't participate in the war. We have Spain didn't participate. We have Albania didn't participate. Switzerland, Switzerland didn't participate. Denmark didn't participate. Netherlands, Hollanda didn't participate. But all the other countries around the world participated. That's why it's World War. طيب, in a war like this, what would happen, ya miss? Let's see. There will be disasters? Of course. You know what happened? At the end of this war changed the world's geography. Why? Because if you know that we have 5 continents, right? We have Europe, Asia, Africa. Every country has its own borders. Yani Germany has its own borders, خلاص, a country. Austria-Hungary was a country. Ottoman Empire was a big country. Russia was a country. But what happened after this war, because everybody was attacking everybody and everybody is invading everybody and trying to control that area. So when the wars finished, they found that the geography and the borders changed. Why? Russia, in the first place, Russia took many places and many lands and countries around it and become not only a country, it become an empire. They call it the empire of, or they call it the Soviet Union. Soviet Union. Who is this Soviet Union? Soviet Union is a union of countries that has Russia in the middle and another 22 countries. It become an empire, خلاص. It extended. It become the biggest nightmare for all the countries around it. Why? Because Soviet Union was very big, very big. I think 22 or 12, wallahi, I'm not sure, my girls. But there were so many countries. There were Yugoslavia, Russia, Belarusia, Croatia, who else? Albania, Serbia. All of these countries were in one country. Russia took them all. And Russia now, it has the biggest part of the cake. Okay? This is the first thing that it changed. The geography of these countries become, instead of having them as divided countries, they become inside one. That swallowed them all. Now Russia has an empire. And then another result that happened, just a minute. Another result that happened, the German Republic was declared in peace after the loss of around 6 million people. German has really been exhausted in that war. And then after a while, they declared that we don't want to complete the war, خلاص. Why? 6 million people of their country died. They said, خلاص, no war anymore. We want to take a rest. That's enough. طيب. And then what happened? Italy regained the lost territories. Italy was a small country and they took some of their lands. After the war, they took back their lands. خلاص, it's fine. Austria-Hungary, what happened? They were divided. Austria was a country, Hungary became a country. This is another change. Another country was changed is Ottoman Empire. Instead of becoming an empire, it was divided into little countries, and instead of Ottoman Empire, it became Turkey. Until this day, now Turkey is in the place of Ottoman Empire. And if you ask, where was Ottoman Empire before? It was in Turkey. And it ruled the Arabian world. After the war, طبعا all the other countries didn't want the Ottoman Empire. Why? It was a Muslim empire. If you have a big Muslim empire, this is a threat for us because they have another religion. So they entered the war and they said, one of the reasons we want to divide Ottoman Empire, because if they are united, they are strong. If they are not united, they are weak. So let's divide first. Let's divide Ottoman Empire. And this is what happened. Ottoman Empire was divided, and all the countries they were in Ottoman Empire, each one of them become a country independent. So you see how the geography changed? Not only the geography, but you know how many people died during this war? They were 40 million people died during this war. 40 million. 40 million people died. 9 million of them military and 10 million of them civilians. And the war ended in 1918 after they divided all of these countries. One of the bloodiest days that the British Army have, it was in 1916 when they lost, in one day, they lost 500,000 person. يعني 50,000 person died in one day in Britain. Okay? Another result of the war, this is some real pictures. Another result of the war, after the war finished, what is the consequences? They had famine after the war because the people, they didn't farm for a long time and they didn't have crops and food for a long time. So after the war finished, a lot of people died out of famine and out of hunger. Another also consequences of the war, after the war finished, there was a lot of disease because there was a lot of rats and there's no cleaning, and there was a lot of people who died under the destruction. So these bodies, after they died, they made disease for the people who lived in those areas. And after that, we have a lot of disease. One of these diseases that spread was Spanish flu. It came out of rats. Spanish flu spread in 1918. After the war finished, it started in 1918, after the war على طول. It started in 1918 and finished at 1920. It lasted for 2 years. How many people died in the Spanish flu? 100 million people died in the disease of the Spanish flu after the war. يعني the disease killed people more than the war. You see how the war destroyed everything around us? It destroyed lives, and spread disease, and spread famine. All of this because of what? Of the greed of people. This was the consequences. But on the other hand, there was some benefit of the war, and this is the last thing I want to tell you. What is the benefit of the war? The benefit of the war, they affected the technology positively. Because after the war, they used some airplanes, some tanks, but they were not sophisticated at that time. After the war, the people who go to the army, their families wanted to communicate their children. So what they did, they made telephones and they made wireless and communication. So in the future, if anybody go to the war, they know where is he. And also they developed some cars, tanks, and some weapons and aircrafts for the upcoming wars in the future, because they realized that without a good weapon, you can't go anywhere and the other countries will kill you. So you have to defend yourself by participating and by what? By joining to the technology and prepare yourself for the future. This is our lesson for today. I hope that you enjoy. I have to go. Do you have any question before we go?